Still got the moves. Welcome. My name is Marshall, and I'm going to be running you through a new show called Please Delete This, the only show that should be deleted once it's on the blockchain. Future episodes will go to that. First episode, I just want to kick it off with the first phrase, only phrase you should know: not your keys, not your coins. We're going to break that down. Really my goal, I'm a comedian. I'm also an HBAR in the trenches for the last couple of years. Nobody really cares about Web3. It's not that funny. Your keys are basically the access to your account. So it'd be like giving out your phone number if somebody wanted to send you money. But the problem is you don't want to give out that number. So what I mean by that is most networks have like two numbers: your private key and your public key. Your public key would be like the one you interact with. On Hedera, now granted, I'm a maxi. I'm an HBAR. I've been in the trenches for a few years, and it might be cringeworthy, but you have to understand that like nobody outside of Web3 really cares about this stuff. Let's be real. So my goal really with these videos and content is to demystify that and keep you safe. I've made so many mistakes. I hope I can tell more of those stories. I mean, you have to, get a couple scratches in the space to move forward. But my goal is that through all my failures, you have, something to do that's new, successful. So not your keys, not your coins. What does that mean? So it means that if you don't have access to your account, so let's say there's something called a centralized exchange, like Binance, Coinbase. Technically, like a bank is a custodial of your assets, right? You go to a bank, you're like, hey, I'd like to withdraw it. They're like, all right, still got some money, get it out. What happens is that these companies have gone bankrupt. I've been a part of that. Just full disclosure, it was called Voyager. It was an exchange where you had digital assets. I couldn't withdraw it at the time, so I had my precious little HBAR. They went bankrupt. So it was a whole scandal years ago in the last cycle where like they lent all this money they didn't have out, and nobody else had these banknotes and all these things, and so it was collapse upon collapse, also called the Terra Luna collapse. Started that. So anyway, the whole thing of not your keys, not your coins is that if you don't have access to an account, and specifically these are called wallets, where they're like digital, like a wallet, like you just put your money in it. That's, how wallets work. But basically, it's the idea that you're sending your money to yourself, you're custodying your assets. And so there's risks with it, there's trade-offs, right? If I give my money to somebody and say, hey, take care of it, great, and you don't think about it, right? And that's fine. I think in a lot of cases that'll be fine. But the reality is that, again, if they go bankrupt, if something happens like a hack, like God forbid any of that happens. So what you want to do is get your stuff to a wallet, meaning you want to get it off an exchange, a centralized exchange. There's no such thing as safe sex in Web3. That's CEX. All right, we're working on the jokes here. But the idea is that you want to maintain self-custody of your assets. You own it, and you get to do whatever you want with it. You can set your assets into the wind. Don't do that. So really coming down to it, on Hedera specifically, there's a wallet called Hashpack I'll talk more about. Kabila is another one. And anytime you make an account, you have an account ID, and that's just a number that you send. So on a Hedera, it's 0.0, insert like 7 digits in the millions. So you use that number just to transact. And so again, each account has private key and public key, but then also an account ID. So the end all be all is that, when you're making an account, when you're sending something, you want to send it to the right address. And you also don't want to give out the information as far as like your private key. And again, I had an example yesterday where somebody in the community for 6 years has been in crypto, and I don't fault them, but a customer support person, they were impersonating the customer support, you know what I'm saying. They basically gave up their info to this person, and they lost all their funds. So write that down, keep it in a safe place, put it in a safe, physically write it down, that's okay. But never give out that information. So that's what not your keys, not your coins means.